What is up, everybody? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, The Hot Commodity, and C, joined by my very own Hot Commodity, and his name is Ant as well.
What's up?
We are covering WWE Friday Night SmackDown from March 21st, 2025, live in, is it Bologna? Or Bologna?
Bologna.
Bologna, Italy. It's my home country. The homeland, the motherland, like they say on Baddies Africa. So this was the first time that SmackDown aired live from Italy, I think, in a long, long time. They're on the European tour. How are you liking this tour of Europe so far?
It's good. I like it. All the crowds are like really intense, so it kind of makes it fun. But and I feel like they've been trying to make every show kind of big. But SmackDown's kind of been lacking. So yeah.
Well, we kick off SmackDown from Italy with Randy Orton coming out to the ring, and before he can speak, he gets interrupted by Kevin Owens. Kevin says, "Randy, I'm here to tell you that I was wrong for attacking you. You didn't deserve that. However, Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn did deserve to get attacked. You picked Cody over me, and I did something out of anger that I regret. You're the same, just like me. You've done a lot of things in the past out of anger. I can forgive you if you can forgive me, and we can leave it all in the past. Nobody wants to see the Randy Orton that kicks people in the head, and that needs to stay in the past as well. What we should do is team up and challenge for the tag titles at WrestleMania." Orton then goes on to say, "I'll tell you what, I should beat your ass all over this arena. I never heard you admit you're wrong, but you can shove it up your ass. You deserve for me to kick you so hard. You used to be fight Owens fight, now you're bitch Owens bitch, and at WrestleMania, I'm going to kick your head clean off your shoulders." So strong words there from Randy Orton. I think this will be a fun match at WrestleMania because Kevin Owens is a really good wrestler and he's able to pull out the best in people. And Orton is obviously going to be a Hall of Famer and he's a legend. So I do want to see the vicious side of Orton come out because that's a very cool thing to see.
I definitely think Randy will take it, but yeah, I think they could have a really good match too.
I'm excited for that one at WrestleMania. But yeah, I'm excited that Orton is back in the mix and we will see Owen. I feel like Sami Zayn will probably get involved or something, though, because Sami hasn't been seen since.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
But I'd rather it just be Owens and Orton clean. But our first match of the night, we have Damian Priest and Jimmy Uso taking on Drew McIntyre and Shinsuke Nakamura. The end comes after Damian Priest hits Shinsuke with a South of Heaven. After Drew attacks Damian Priest from behind, McIntyre slams Priest's head into the mat numerous times and then lands a Claymore. And Drew goes on to tell Priest, "Every time you get up, I'll put you down till you stay down." So clearly these two are going to fight at WrestleMania. But what do you think of this rivalry so far? I mean, Priest eliminated McIntyre from the Elimination Chamber, right? Or was it the Rumble? I think it was the Rumble, right?
The Rumble.
So, and since then they've been going at it, but McIntyre basically has had the advantage. What do you think of these two going at it?
I think Drew McIntyre kind of stretches it. I mean, like CM Punk said this week, the Royal Rumble is every man for himself. And you know, his cash in at WrestleMania, like who isn't gonna try to cash in at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
If they have a chance. So like, you know, Drew is just like his normal bitching stuff, like trying to take everything personal. And he shouldn't be. But I think they could have a really good match.
I agree. I think they're going to have a good match because they're both similar in style.
Yeah.
This was kind of corny here. WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair have a split screen promo interview. Tiffany says after last, and then Charlotte says the queen speaks first. "I didn't believe the hype in you. I chose you because I felt sorry for you. Everyone is compared to me. You're not that special. At WrestleMania will be the pinnacle for you, but it'll just be me shining my light on someone who's delusional." Tiffany says, "You know I'm here to take your throne." Charlotte says, "You've always been undervalued. Me, or no, you've always been underneath me. Sorry, my handwriting looks like shit, everybody. Tiffany says at WrestleMania, I'm going to cement what I already know. They don't bow to you. They run on Tiffy time. I didn't really like this. I feel like Tiffany looked really dumb here. And I like her as a wrestler, but Charlotte like owned her until the end. And I feel like Tiffany was a little nervous. And a lot of people are saying around that they don't think Tiffany's really ready for this spot. And based on this promo, I kind of agree a bit. I like Tiffany, but it just felt like Charlotte was dogging a little kid, and Tiffany couldn't get a word in edgewise, and it just she's the champion, and I feel like she's being looked at as the underdog, and I get it because Charlotte Flair has been champion many times, but I want my champion to look dominant and strong and look like she can compete and take on Charlotte. All she's really done to Charlotte is hit her with a swanton bomb off a fucking LED stage. Like other than that, like Charlotte's been the one to do everything. And it's just like betting odds Charlotte's going to win, but I want Tiffany to win. But what do you think of that promo and all that?
Yeah, I didn't think it was kind of like a space filler. They should have done something like live in the
Arena. Uh-huh.
It would have looked better. And which they did do last week, but it got dragged out too long and it looked ridiculous, I think.
Yeah.
Like, we were supposed to believe they were fighting the whole time backstage, and they came out like 30 minutes later still fighting.
And I do want to say something funny that I'll mention later on, but I have ADD, so I'll mention it now. What's funny is, like, if you go to last week, the pull-apart between the ladies was like 20 security guards. And then with the final segment between Reigns, Punk, and Rollins, there's like 3 people that came out. And it's just like, looked really dumb. This match is the number 1 contenders for the Intercontinental title. Braun Strowman taking on Jacob Fatu. Jacob tosses Braun Strowman over the announce table and hits a clothesline off the apron to Braun Strowman on the floor. Strowman hits a leaping clothesline and then shoulder tackles Jacob Fatu onto the announce table. Strowman hits a spine buster and then attacks Tama Tonga. And then Solo Sikoa hits a Samoan spike onto Braun Strowman. So Strowman gets a DQ victory after Jacob looks mad at Solo. And then the Bloodline attack Braun until WWE United States Champion LA Knight makes the save. After Jacob Fatu destroys the backstage area, Solo confronts him and says, "We were just trying to help you." Jacob says, "When I'm taking care of mine, you better basically stay out of my business." So Mania is a couple weeks away, and right now Solo costs Jacob Fatu a title shot. First question, what do you think about Braun taking on LA Knight? And then what do you think of this imploding between the Bloodline here?
Well, I think that Solo and Jacob are probably going to fight at WrestleMania. Maybe after, I don't know. I mean, they have to do something pretty quick. There's only 2.5, 3 weeks left. But, I mean, this could have been the start of it. But it's almost like no one really cares about Solo anymore. Like, it's not that exciting. I mean,
well, now that Roman's back, it's kind of like the Bloodline's kind of like.
But I do think people want to see Jacob Fatu beat the fuck out of Solo. Mm-hmm. So I think that it's been coming for a while, and maybe they'll put it in WrestleMania.
And what do you think about Braun and LA Knight for the title?
Is that tonight?
I think.
I think LA Knight will probably retain.
Okay.
Probably.
In some like fuck up way. Next we see.
And do I think LA Knight could really take on Braun?
No. Piper Niven with United States Champion Chelsea Green and Alba Fire defeats Zelina Vega. Zelina had a decent showing here, though. She lit a flying Meteora and a tornado DDT for a 2 count. Zelina then punches Chelsea Green off the apron. Alba distracts Zelina, which allows Piper to hit a crossbody, and Zelina will not challenge for the United States Women's Championship. But what did you think of this one here?
I didn't really get the purpose of it. I thought Zelina should have won, and it should have led to a title match. So, I don't know. kind of stupid.
Kind of random.
Yeah.
Next, we have WWE Women's one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, Liv Morgan, with her partner Raquel Rodriguez, taking on Jade Cargill. Jade lands a fallaway slam, and then Jade attacks Liv while Liv and Raquel go to leave the arena. Liv hits a code breaker, and Jade lands a German suplex. Jade then hits a modified F5 for a 2 count. Naomi then comes out on the apron, distracting Jade. Naomi then hits Jade Cargill with the women's tag team title, and Liv lands Oblivion, and Liv Morgan ends Jade Cargill's undefeated streak here in WWE. After Naomi attacks Jade on the mat and pushes her off the apron onto the announce table, and Naomi is a heel, and she is fully embracing it here. What do you think about this? Jade losing the streak here, and Naomi attacking her afterwards.
Was that the first time Jade was beat?
In a singles match.
Who was it against?
Liv Morgan.
Okay. I think that Liv should have. I think it's good that Liv was the one to beat her streak. It's believable because Liv has been like beating everybody. As far as like Naomi, I really like the storyline. I think it's one of the best ones right now. And I could definitely see Jade and Naomi at WrestleMania, and I could definitely see Bianca turning at WrestleMania.
Bianca, man, we'll talk about Bianca getting booed on Raw when we cover that. But yeah, I'm a big Naomi fan, so I'm happy that she's finally getting another spotlight moment for her at WrestleMania, hopefully. Then we have a boring segment. The tag team champions, the Street Profits, come out. They talk about how for the past 4 years there's been a lot of doubt about them, but finally holding these titles have made all the doubt worth it. They always counted on each other. That's when Legado del Fantasma come out, and basically Santos says, "What a moment! You guys finally capture gold, but Los Garza deserve it." And then Pretty Deadly come out, and they basically said, "You need to step aside because we're the number one contenders." But a match is made. The Street Profits defeat Los Garza here. Montez lands a frog splash to Angel to get the victory. Another filler moment, I feel like, just to get the tag champions out there in Italy, but there was really no point.
The thing was, they haven't really had this huge struggle back to the top. Like, they just kind of started this new gimmick. And they had a couple matches. Like, it wasn't like they had this big struggle like they're saying.
So fuck their thoughts.
Yeah.
We come to our final segment of SmackDown. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman come out. Roman says, "Your original tribal chief loves you. At the Royal Rumble, CM Punk screwed me. So
he's also proud to acknowledge him for the first time again, too.
Yep, acknowledge him, yep. He says, so CM Punk screwed me at the Royal Rumble, so last week I screwed CM Punk. At the Royal Rumble, Seth Rollins tried to kill me, and last week I tried to kill Seth Rollins. If anyone wants to confront their tribal chief, let me know." That's when Seth Rollins comes out. Rollins says, "Roman Reigns, you messed up. You don't understand how dangerous CM Punk is to this company. You should have let me finish him when I had the chance. I get it. It's always been about you and me. We cannot coexist in the same place at the same time. This story has a lot of pages, and it's time we add another chapter." And that's when CM Punk comes out. Punk says, "Neither of you have beaten me without the other's help because you can't. In the Royal Rumble, it's every man for himself. You wouldn't have made it to the Rumble if I didn't save your family's ass at War Games, Roman. Thank you for delivering your tribal chief on a silver platter, Paul." And then all three men brawl. The guards separate them, and each man has a moment where they're able to point at the WrestleMania sign. However, Roman Reigns is the last one to do it after hitting CM Punk and Seth Rollins with the steel ring steps. My thoughts on this is that I'm excited to see the match. It wasn't made official on SmackDown. It was made later on Twitter. But I just feel like CM Punk has no reason to be in this. Like, there's really no, like, CM Punk has no real, what's his beef?
Yeah.
The only thing he's mad about is that he can't be world champion. right? But I mean, you could fight anyone and be mad that you're not the champion. So I feel like which they did on Raw, and I'll cover that. They need to add more of a story of CM Punk being involved in this. Like they mentioned, Rollins says it's always been about me and you, Roman. I don't understand why they just don't do a singles between Roman and Reigns, but Punk has to be involved somehow, and hopefully they add. It looks like they're going with the element of
Number one contender.
And also like Paul Heyman is like the sort of key element here. But there is something interesting that I didn't know. Years ago when CM Punk was out of WWE, he went on his friend Colt Cabana, who used to be a wrestler, his podcast, and he basically trashed Roman and said that he felt like Roman Reigns. Punk. He said in real life felt that Roman didn't deserve the main spot and that Roman got more opportunities than he did. So if they added that to it, then okay, then maybe you could say Punk has hated Roman for a while. But as of now, it's just he's mad that he lost the Rumble, and yeah. So what do you think of all this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge Punk fan for sure, and I just feel like they're just kind of throwing him in there so he can be at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they're doing that a lot this year. Like, I don't feel like WrestleMania has been worked on and planned out all year, and it's kind of disappointing.
Can I tell you why I think? And this is going to sound really crazy. I think it's because this is the first time that there's been this much of a gap between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, and this much a gap of where there's no pay-per-view. And when you think about it, you're like, okay, that gives them time to make up storylines, make all this good stuff. But right now, with the tour being in Europe and a lot of the wrestlers like not being able to be there, because like you're not going to see Roman Reigns fly to fucking London, like it only happens like. But anyways, I think that the gap is a problem because there's like, and then it's like we're getting all these lackluster matches and lackluster build because they're in all these other countries and they're not. I mean, we still have like 4 more weeks, but I think 3 is it 4 or 3?
It's probably
3, but it's just I don't know. I just feel like I agree with you. It has been lackluster, but I do think it's because we were waiting so long, and there's not a lot of momentum right now. We get a pay-per-view in between.
Today's the 28th, and WrestleMania is
the 19th and the 20th.
So it's under a month now.
But it's going to be a good match. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's just the build for it isn't that strong.
And WrestleMania will be good. It always is, but I just wish that they need to make us want the storylines. Like, we should be looking like 2 months before these things should get processed.
Yeah.
And I feel like they just don't do that.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I used to get super excited for WrestleMania season because it's like, all right, can't wait to watch Raw and SmackDown. It's crazy shit's gonna happen. Literally the other week, when we were gonna turn on SmackDown, I was like, oh wait, it is WrestleMania season. Maybe something's gonna happen. But I haven't felt that, and it's weird because normally the John Cena stuff has been cool, but even that, like, he's mad at the people for no reason. Like, after 20 years, you're randomly mad, and you're gonna. It just a lot of this doesn't really make any sense, and we'll cover all that when we cover Raw. But we've covered all of SmackDown. Decent show. Really, nothing crazy happened. Just the big brawl between CM Punk,
Reigns, John Cena. Like, we were promised a year of John Cena. We've seen him like 4 times, maybe 5.
Well, I should say this for Raw, but I will say this now too, really quick. One thing that is interesting is they still, like, Cena hasn't talked about The Rock at all. Like, and the whole point of this was that Cody didn't sell his soul to the, like, why is The Rock involved if he's not going to be involved? Like, they could have had Cena attack Cody after Elimination Chamber without The Rock involvement whatsoever. But since Cena came back, there's been
no talk about The Rock's going to come to WrestleMania. And maybe
but for what? There's been no, like, all Cena says is that the reason why he turned heel was because the fans used him. Yeah. There's nothing about The Rock persuaded me. There's nothing about he's just invisible at this point. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
You can't see me.
And we can't.
Yeah. But yes, we've covered WWE SmackDown in full here. We are going to be covering Raw. We've got SmackDown again to cover. We are on the road to WrestleMania. So although it's lackluster, we're still having fun covering it. So until next time, stay safe and stay uncensored.